Welcome to the So Much More podcast, where we talk with people in the custom window treatment, soft home furnishings industry, and so much more. I'm your host, Ciel DeGuglielmo. My guest on the podcast today is Theresa Harmon. She's the owner of All the Trimmings Shop, and it's a custom soft furnishings and drapery workroom. She started out as a graphic designer, and she has become a one-woman drapery and soft furnishings workroom. Theresa has had a journey similar to and different than the rest of us. And I really enjoyed learning more about her and about her journey. And I hope you do too. Theresa, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be here. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
All right. Well, just relax. You and I are just having a conversation. I have my coffee. We're ready to go. I would love for you to start out by telling everyone a little bit about yourself and your business and what you do.
Okay. I'm a wife. I've been married for 40 years.
Congratulations. Me too.
I'm the mom of 5 children. They're all grown up and off their payroll, so that's good.
We like that moment.
We have 6 grandchildren, and we're blessed to have them locally, so I'm getting to watch them grow up, which is awesome.
That's nice.
I'm a one-woman workroom, and if you count my husband, who's retired, he's a retired engineer. He's my foam cutter, tax guy, and accountant, bookkeeper, whatever.
Okay, that's awesome.
We have mostly retail clients, but one of our daughters is an interior designer, so we do a lot of her fabrication. And her sister, our other daughter, is her project coordinator, so it's kind of fun.
I'll have to talk with you more about that. That must really be a lot of fun to spend time with them in that capacity.
It is. The 3 of us, the 2 daughters and I, just went to High Point Market a few weeks ago, and that was my maiden voyage, and they had been before, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that must have been. All right, good. We've got a lot to talk about then. So how did you get started with this business?
So it's funny. Back in mid-2006, so I'm a graphic designer by schooling.
Okay.
And I've always tried to marry that graphics with sewing because I've always liked sewing. And I was making a lot of commemorative wedding pillows for friends.
Okay.
For their weddings. I had a lot of young friends. And I went and bought a embroidery machine, and it was a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But I was like in my, mid 40s and was like, you know what, I deserve this. I need a creative outlet because I hadn't been working in my field. My art projects have been my children. But I went and bought this machine, and then I went back. They give new owner classes. And so I went back to get my first lesson, and they said, Theresa, there's this woman that's doing a historic bed and breakfast, and she needs a seamstress to make all her stuff, like window treatments and pillows. And can we give her your name? And I was like, okay. So this woman called me, and she talked to me about it, and we settled on a price, which now I'm thinking, looking backwards, what an idiot. But anyway, I needed to pay off my machine because it was a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, they're expensive.
And she seemed interested, and so I thought it'd be a win-win. 3 months later, when I had finished everything and saw how, because I had seen the place before, she took an old carriage house and made it into 2 suites, a better, one suite, another one. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. She had really good taste, and she had sourced and spec'd all the fabrics, so I just had to get it and make stuff. But it was really neat, and I got really excited about it. And then when that job was over, I thought, I could maybe do more of this. And at the same time, interestingly, my husband was working for a company, and I don't know if other people have experienced this, but I've known that a lot of people in their late 50s start to get a little bit of workplace discrimination. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get rid of the older people because they're pulling in a higher salary, and they want to replace them with younger people. Mm-hmm. and save on the bottom line. So he's a chemical engineer. He had been like the best thing since sliced bread, and now he was having a lot of problems, and it just didn't seem right. And so we were in a situation where he could take early retirement. He had enough years in, so I encouraged him to do so, because to me, mental health is more important than money. So,
right.
And like I said, we were in a good place financially. So he left, but then I thought, why don't I pursue this a little bit more? So I started looking for clients. I ended up finding a couple of decorators, an interior designer, and then got retail clients, and did it for about 3.5 years. And then he did get another job in his field. So we moved back to Richmond area. We had left the area in 91, I think, when he had gotten a headhunter calling him and asking him to go. So we left, and we were gone 19 years with this company. And so then we came back to the Richmond area. So that was a lot of fun to come back. But working and such, I didn't keep the workroom open. I just closed shop.
Okay.
And didn't reopen until 2018. I was trying to think when it was. 2018.
Okay. So what made you reopen it?
So my daughter had opened her shingle, and she's like, "Mom, you should start your business again." And I had a few friends who knew I sewed and asked if I'd make stuff for them, and I knew I could.
Right.
So I started back, and it was especially fun because she and I get along really well, and so that was fun.
All right, so I want to back up just a little bit. The person who was doing the carriage houses, had you made window treatments prior to working with her?
I had made my own stuff. I had made valances and cushions. No, I'm trying to think. I hadn't made any cushions, but I had made drapes, curtains, pillows for myself.
Okay.
Because even though, so I'm not my best client. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and we've had 5 kids, so we were always trying to live on one income. It didn't make sense for me to send all those kids to daycare. I would have not made any money. But so I had some experience, but I didn't know like what I know now, fabrication techniques. It was more like I bought a sunset curtain book and did what it said, not, So like I made Romans.
A lot of us owe Sunset a thank you for starting our businesses.
Yes, we do. But I had made Roman shades, but it's the cleat kind, like, but I had found a lady online that, you could buy the kit. And so, I can make almost anything because I've been sewing a long time. But yeah, I didn't really know, like just some of the things that she needed me to do. She had these Martha Washington chairs, and she wanted a slip cover for them. But I'm like, wait a minute, those have arms. Like, how do you do a slip cover? So I had to figure out this Velcro enclosure kind of thing, because she talked about how people that, stay in bed and breakfast, they don't, people are sloppy. It's not their stuff. And she wanted a way to take it off and clean it. And she had really good taste and had picked really cute fabrics. But I'm telling you that those 2 slip covers for those chairs, I probably made $1 an hour. I mean, just the time trying to figure it out.
That had to be a what do they call it? Paying for your education in that particular job.
Yeah. And she was real happy with everything at the end. So.
Okay. Were any of the treatments for the windows historically accurate? Like I'm thinking swags and like difficult to make window treatments for somebody just starting. Yeah,
she had picked, she had it already figured out, so I didn't really have a lot of say-so in anything. Okay. It was, trying to think. I had one of the treatments, one suite was green and one was blue. I remember that. The green one had a valance that is like what do you call it when it's longer on the end, swagged or
a jabos.
But then it was pinch pleated.
Okay.
And then she had straight panels under that, and then she had shears under that. So they were like, it was like that's why when I think about what I got paid, like she got a deal. And it's interesting. She didn't want to, at the end of it, she was trying to renegotiate the price lower. And I held my ground. And it was interesting because she had said she was going to do all this stuff and then after it was over, like, she didn't call me, but because she knew I wasn't, because I made her pay the full amount.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was already like not getting what it was worth. But anyway, That's another story. But that happens, right, to all of us.
Yeah, it does. And it's a lesson that as long as we use the lesson and learn from it.
And I know a lot of business owners don't understand, like, as a business owner now, when other business owners like tell me it's going to cost this much to power wash your house, or I don't usually try to talk them down a lot because I'm thinking, well, you have to be profitable, because I understand that.
Right.
But again, a lot of business owners don't understand that. So I just let it go and I found other people. But yeah, it was a lot of, so I don't know if they were historically accurate, but they were, I mean, she used like a toile and she had pretty fringe and
they were layered. So that's, I mean, that's definitely period pieces. Okay.
Yeah.
It intrigues me how often some of us get started with these enormous, intricate jobs. And that is the first lesson we learn. I did not charge enough for that one.
Well, fools go where angels won't, right?
That's a good one. I like that. So how long were you in business before you and your husband moved?
3.5 years.
Okay. And then, so you're starting over. Did you do anything differently the second time, starting with your daughter?
I added the word shop. The first time it was all the trimmings. And then when I went to do it again, there was a lot of other companies with that name. So my daughter said, add shop. My oldest daughter came up with all the trimmings back in 2006. The second daughter said, add shop. I got a business license. No, I had a business license in the other place too. I'm trying to think. I had a website.
Okay.
The second time, and I did more on social media.
Okay. Are you still to the trade and retail, or okay?
Yeah, both. Mostly, I mean, to the trade, I have my daughter Lee of Contented Interiors, and then there's about 3 decorators that I've done work for, but everybody else is retail.
Okay. So you did something similar to what I did. I bought a Bernina machine to start my business and learned very quickly that there's a lot of material that will not go under that Bernina. So did you at any time convert to industrial machines, or?
So when I was back in Tennessee, when I was doing it the first time, I bought a old 1957 Singer 2012. I looked into a commercial machine. There was a lady that I hooked up there. She was so sweet. Her name was Kitty, and she had one of those old machines with the belt. And she was trying to convince me, but I was a little nervous about an old machine. But I found this guy at the flea market. I lived in the Kingsport area in Johnson City, Tennessee, and all that, Bristol is the Tri-City area. And there was a flea market, and there was this old guy. He was like called Mr. Singer, and he and his sons had all these machines, and they could fix anything. And he had a 2012, and he told me, this is a real heavy duty machine, and it'll take an size 18 needle, and it'll sew through your thick threads. Cause I didn't want to mess up my new Husqvarna Viking machine. Right. And so between those 2 machines, I got almost everything done. Now the second go around, I did buy, it's funny. I ended up working for Husqvarna Viking here in Midlothian area. I sold sewing machines for about almost 2 years. Okay. And gave new owner classes and stuff. So I started getting real familiar with machines, and I knew I needed to get something heavier. So I started looking around, and I ended up getting a Sailrite fabricator because I love their videos. Yeah, they do a great job. Great customer service. And I called her up one day, and the price, I mean, I knew what the Husqvarna Viking machines were. I know how much the Berninas are, and I've seen old machines, but for just a little bit more, I could get a brand new machine with a warranty, and they had really good customer service. So that's the route I went, and I haven't regretted it at all. It's been a wonderful machine. Okay. So
Tell me a little bit about working with your daughter. What is that like? I know you said you get along, and probably every mother of a daughter out there and every daughter of a mother out there knows what that term means. We get along, because sometimes mothers and daughters don't get along.
This particular daughter and I really do get along get along well. We actually are the ones that look alike. Okay. So out of my 5 children, 3 have blue eyes and lighter skin and look more like my husband, who has darker skin, and I have lighter skin. They kind of, the skin and the eye color switched. But the 2 brown-eyed kids that look like me, one's a son, one's a daughter. She's the brown-eyed, and she's always been interested in art. Okay. We're about the same size. People get us confused. They think at a glance, they think it's me, which, I mean, I'm 25 years older than she is. But anyway, but we do get along well. She's really good to work with. She's done a lot of business coaching with Toby Fairley. And so she's always trying to share information about, you need to do this, Mom. You need to do that, Mom. And I listen to her. I'm thinking she's telling me to help me. So she's got a really good taste. She's been moving furniture around since she was a kid. So I've gotten used to her, and her sister is totally different, but really organized. So it's been great working with them. Okay. There's nothing like cloaked in euphemisms. I really do get along well with her. She's not sending me hand signals while you're talking to me. She's not real, like some people are like neurotic about detail, which I tend to be, but she'll be like, Mom, it's fine. Don't worry. Because I'll be telling her, this didn't work out, and she's like, don't worry about it, it's good. Yeah. So that's a great what's the word I'm looking for, dynamic, because we're hard enough on ourselves. We don't need anyone else being hard on us. And if it's a family member, that could be really challenging in a working situation. So have you done anything really unique or different with her? I had to make a reverse. What are the Roman shades where the clearance isn't very much? The reverse mount. Yeah. I had to do a reverse mount for because they were windows that were retrofitted with vinyl. Oh, okay. So I didn't have a lot of, return or whatever you call it. Not return, but the space. Yeah. So I had to do a reverse mount. And honestly, I've run into a lot of things, but the Richmond group, that there's so many, everybody in there's a star, and I kind of don't to call on one I can't ask the same person every time. I rotate it around, and they're all very gracious. Yeah. But they all help me out in a pinch if I need something. Yeah, you do have a great group down there. So what has been, would you say, the biggest challenge to getting your business restarted in a new area? I think it's been easier this time because of the WCAA. Okay. I just have more people. Like I just had that one lady, Kitty, and my sunset books, and there wasn't all the videos. No. And I mean, it's just been easier this time. I'm older, I'm wiser. I've finished raising 5 teenagers, so I have a thick skin. I was going to say, so everything's easy after that. It really is. I mean, the hardest thing for me in general is just pricing, and I hear that from other people that it's just hard to know. Okay. What would you say is the biggest challenge in general of running your business? Do you think my husband is a retired chemical process engineer. That man can time something down to the nanosecond, and he'll say to me, "How long is this going to take?" Oh. And I'm like, I have no idea. And so that's the hardest thing for me, is just trying to determine, a fair price and how many, Right. So a lot of times I'll say, I'm getting better about starting at, and then I have worked into my terms a of service. If the fabric that you're giving me, especially COM, customers on material, is problematic, there's going to be an upcharge. But a lot of that's come from the advice of, people in the WCAA.
Right.
So
it's amazing how much we learn from other people. I'm indebted forever to my friends in my WCAA group as well. Theresa, you restarted your business, so I have to assume that you enjoyed it the first time you did it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever thought about quitting?
No. In fact, it's funny. So my husband is 6 years older than I am. And so he's like, when are you gonna retire? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just getting started. I'm having fun.
I like that.
Well, I put my career on the back burner mindfully. I didn't,
Right.
I'm not begrudging, but we decided, because I did work for a short time when we got married between my junior and senior year of college. Mm-hmm. And so I started working, and I don't know if other people feel this way, but I was kind of disappointed at my first professional job because of the environment there. I thought it would be a little different. And so I after a few months, I left, and I did some freelance work for a while. And then I started having kids, and I continued to do freelance, but it just, I don't know, I just felt like there were so many graphic designers, and I just always have loved to sew. So, and then I started over time realizing not that many people sew.
Yeah,
so it just seemed like a good match for me.
Okay. What is your definition of success?
I think for me, waking up every morning knowing I've got something meaningful to do that's going to impact people for good, that to me is success.
Oh, that's a great definition. I love that I get so many different answers to that question. And it's almost never anything that directly has to do with money or a dollar amount. I think that's fantastic. So since I ask about the definition of success, what do you think has been the greatest success in your business so far?
I get a lot of repeat business, and people just get so tickled when they come to pick up their stuff. Most of the time they're picking it up.
Okay.
But my daughter and her clients have been super happy. So I'm guessing, I'm translating what I'm hearing, what they want. I'm sewing what they want. I'm creating what their dream was. So I seem to be pretty good at that.
Okay. I like that. So I'm curious, you said you check the details and you are a perfectionist. What happens to you when you make a mistake? How do you handle it?
I cry. I throw things across this workroom. I pray. If it's something that I've done wrong, I make it right. I usually figure the problem out before the client gets it. I don't think they know.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think if I've ever done something and they didn't like it. No, I think the problem's always before they find out.
Yeah.
And my daughter will coach me about, you don't need to go into all these details with them. They just want to know, can you do the work? They don't need all the details. Yeah. Because I tend to be a very, I don't know, maybe too much honesty. And she's just like, just stop. They just want to get what they need.
It's interesting. I feel like for a lot of us that need to explain things or to point things out, I don't know whether it's because sometimes we feel like we're still new in the business. And so therefore, I want to show you this mistake I made, or I want you to see this. I remember a good friend of mine stopping me in my tracks. I had made something exactly to a designer's specifications, and there was something I wasn't too happy about. And I said, I'm going to take them home and remake them. We're doing a lot of windows, so 2 didn't seem like that much. And she said, has the designer complained? Has the client complained? She said, close your mouth and wait and see what they say. They walked in, they loved everything about the room. I'm like, that was a good lesson. I still cringed when I went back to that room a couple years later to do something else, but everybody else was happy. I'm the only one who wasn't. So I think that's a really big challenge for those of us in this industry. I really do.
I just finished some catamaran sailboat cushions.
Okay.
And they had a lot of curves, and convex curves are not a problem, but the concave ones can be, especially when you're not allowed to use batting to fill in.
Right.
Because they have to use that open cell foam, et cetera. And I was just sweating because I had tried so hard to get it just taut, but there was a little bit of, rippling in that concave curve. And so when they came, I said, and he goes, it's going to be under the table. And so he sent me the pictures on the boat, and I'm like, you can't even tell. Plus I have it up, at 3.5 feet or whatever but no one's going to go like this under the table.
Right.
But sometimes just the perspective of, it's on your table and it's at eye level, but it's not going to be like that in every application. So
right. That's a good reminder. You mentioned that your daughters helped you with some secondary coaching. Have you taken any classes or read any books that significantly affected you? Are there any of that type of education that you've deliberately pursued?
I have. The very first year, I wrote some of these down. I was listening to a lot of either books on audio or I read, and some of them, they aren't necessarily industry specific, but they're more of a, okay, so these were the couple that I had written down. So The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
Really good book. Just basically talking about how little incremental changes can make all the difference. Cumulatively, they make a lot of difference. You Were a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Oh, I have read her books. Yeah.
Good book. I've heard really good things about, I did do the Shade Smart class with Susan Woodcock and company. And that was one of the things I spent my scholarship money on.
Oh, good for you.
And that was, I tell you what, that got me the bug. I was, people get the Broadway bug. I've got the go to the classes bug. So everyone's telling me to save up for CWC, so I am.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong there.
But I haven't, except for the Shade Smart, and I did do a class with, is it Workroom, the Workroom Tech channel, or it's the Elke Farm?
It's the Workroom channel. So there's Workroom Tech, and that's Susan's Shade Smart class was from there. But then there's the Workroom channel, and that's Janelle Deck's company. Okay, so I bought some of the other scholarship money I spent was on an Elke Horn Roman shade class. That was during COVID, and I needed to make some Roman shades. I think I've made 5 functional ones and 1 stationary one. Well, more than 1 stationary one, but from her class. So that was good. So that's awesome that you were able to use the scholarship money that way. Yeah, that was awesome. I was really excited to win that. I was very surprised. So when did you win that scholarship? Last year, 2020. Okay. And then COVID hit, so I couldn't use it for a while because, I bought Susan's book. Right. And then I kept waiting, and then I bought the Elke Horn class. And then I asked WCAA if I could use it this year, and they said yes. So then I used the rest of it this year. Oh, terrific. That's great. Do you use much technology in your business? I use the internet a lot. But I listen to podcasts, and honestly, my phone, I know we don't think of it as technology, but honestly, I'm using it for taking photos and social media and texting clients stuff. I tend to send clients updates of their progress on their job. So I'll send them photos of things. They get mostly, I do with my daughter too, but they like to see the welt rolled up, and they like to see the plates, and they get all excited. And that way it keeps them connected, so they know I'm not just, that even if I'm not going to finish it for a few weeks, they know it's in the queue. It's in progress. Right. Yeah. And it's that that's the part of working retail that I think is so important. It's the managing of expectations and knowing that you're important, their work is important to you and all of that. Okay. It's interesting to me, Theresa, because several people have mentioned their phones recently as technology that they couldn't live without. And I think it's interesting because even those of us who are not 25 years old and who didn't grow up with it, use it so not obliviously, but we do take it for granted. It's just part of our lives now. So it's interesting to me that several people recently have specifically mentioned their phones and how much it means to their business. And it's really true. I mean, we can check files on our phone, we can take pictures, we can communicate. And it's one of those things, I think it's kind of nice that we're not taking it for granted. It's an important tool.
Well, and it's cute. So last year was my 60th birthday and it was COVID. We were supposed to go to New York City and have a big hurrah. And of course, we couldn't do that. And my kids felt bad. So they all chipped in and bought me a new phone with a really good camera.
Okay.
And that was my birthday gift. So it's got a really nice camera on it.
Okay.
And it takes really good pics. So every time I use it, I think of them too.
Yeah, that's a great thing. The sponsors of the So Much More podcast allow me to bring guests to you each week. And without them, I couldn't do it. I'm pleased as the owner of the Curtains and Soft Furnishings Resource Library that I can use the library to help sponsor the podcast as well. The library hosts the industry's largest curated collection of educational resources for the custom home furnishings professional. Membership to the library gives you access to a wealth of downloadable reference materials, videos, live events, as well as a community of support to help you develop your design, sales, and fabrication skills, and to grow or start a business. Join the library today at csfrl.org. The Workroom Channel is the premier online training provider for professional fabrication skills. Go to theworkroomchannel.com to browse the selection of anytime access courses created by industry experts. Watch detailed demonstration videos, download companion materials, and participate in private course discussion boards with your instructor and classmates from around the world. Start your course path today at theworkroomchannel.com. Education, networking, visibility, and industry discounts are just a few of the benefits that are offered to members of the Window Covering Association of America. The WCAA is the only national nonprofit trade association that's dedicated to the window coverings industry and the dealers, decorators, workrooms, designers, and installers that make up our membership. The library is a gold-level sponsor of the WCAA. Join today at WCAA.org. WCAA, where you are never in business alone. Discover Klimaka Studios, where innovation meets exceptional design. Klimaka fabric and wallpaper collections are inspired by the original works of collaborating artists and developed with the understanding of how fabrics are manipulated into exquisite soft home furnishings. Workroom businesses enjoy exclusive access to engineered designs and best trade pricing. From clever layouts to classic linen prints, Klimaka Studios delivers the quality and consistency that your business demands. And Klimaka's reliable, on-time delivery keeps your projects running smoothly. Go to klimakastudios.com for swatches and trade account information. Klimaka Studios, for the joy and profit of workrooms. So besides your phone, what 3 business items could you not live without?
Oh, my table. My husband built a table for me. Mm-hmm. So, which I had a table the first time, but I ended up selling it because I couldn't take it with me. And then, so definitely my table. This is going to sound silly. I do a lot of cushions, and I got sick of always pricking my fingers. So I got the Wonder Clips. I love them.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
The little ones, I have the little ones and the bigger ones, but I don't, very infrequently do I use pins now, and my fingers appreciate that.
Okay. It's funny because I've seen a few people post recently about them. I use the clips a lot myself, but I really didn't think about it as a benefit of not stabbing myself with the pins. That's a good one.
And then I really like the Sailrite basting tape, or the leather. Some people use a different brand, the leather tape.
Yes.
I like that for places where I might use pins and I can't use the Wonder Clips. I like to use that.
Okay. That's another one of those products that I forget about until I pick it up and use it. And I go, why have I not been using this more often? Especially like cushions and matching patterns or plaids or anything like that.
And
so helpful.
And you can iron over it, whereas the jewel tape you can't. Ask me how I know.
Yeah. Same way I know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I really like that a lot. I haven't, like, I know a lot of, I helped Kathy Geffen recently because she broke her leg, bless her heart. And she's got one of those irons that comes out of the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I could see that would become a favorite if I had one of those.
Yeah.
Maybe that's coming. But
that's one of those tools that I lived without it until I was in somebody else's workroom and went, oh, I get this now. I need one of these.
Yeah. It was pretty nice. Do
you get a chance to sew for pleasure, Theresa?
I do. As you saw behind me, this is my room. It's my office, but it's my husband's mother-in-law was born in the Congo, so I have a lot of stuff from Africa, and we wanted a room. So I've got a window seat cushion and stuff where we tried to find fabric that looked more indigenous. Mm-hmm. Pretty much all the pillows and soft furnishings, my Roman shades, all that's I made because, like I said, I'm not my ideal client. I sew for my grandkids. I sew Halloween costumes.
Okay.
I use my embroidery machine still to make wedding pillows for friends. I don't do a lot of it, but I do. And I'm really petite, and I have to always alter my clothes.
Okay.
So I sew not a lot, but regularly.
Okay. It's not, I'm always intrigued to ask that question because some of us have made it so much of a business that we don't want to sew if we're not working. But some of us still love sewing so much that we want to do it even when we are done working. What is your favorite thing to make?
I like making cushions. I really do. I don't know what it is, but I get so excited. And then when they get ready to take them home, it's like they're my children and they leave. And I say, send me a picture. I want to see what they look like in their new house. But I love making cushions. I like making Roman shades.
Okay.
And I like making valances, the half pleat valances. Mm-hmm. I've made a lot recently. Like I think I've made about 15 this year. I've made a lot. So I guess I like what I get good at.
Yeah, that's true. Or you get good at what you like.
Yeah.
We're not sure which.
Yeah.
Theresa, what do you do extremely well?
I think I've just got good craftsmanship, and I'm really careful, and I take pride in what I'm doing. If I don't want somebody to ask who made that and then be like, oh my, like, I don't want it to look homemade. I want it to look.
Gotcha. What do you not do so well?
Know how much time something's going to take.
That is not the first time I've heard that answer on the podcast. I think a lot of us struggle with that one.
And I think, again, the pricing, because my husband, he'll just shake his head and he'll go, you did it again. You've how many hours have you been working on this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to school. It's paying for my school too, right?
What about you would surprise people?
So I was really, was a good question. I have taken part in 2 citizens police academies in 2 different states.
Really? What does that mean? I'm not familiar with that.
So It depends on which state. In Tennessee, it meant, well, in both instances, you learn the work of a policeman, you learn what they do, but then you get into other things like in depth, like use of force. When is it appropriate? When is it not? In Tennessee, I actually got to shoot 5 different kinds of guns, which
Oh, wow.
I guess they're probably not letting people do that now, but like I can say I've shot an AR-15 and I've shot a 9mm, and I've decided I don't like guns, but I respect them. But it was really fascinating. You learn all about just all kinds of things that are not like the TV shows.
Okay.
And what it's meant to do is to foster positive relationships with the community and the police.
Okay.
And I took part of it, and I took part in Johnson City, Tennessee, and here in Chesterfield, Virginia. And I really enjoyed it. I have a lot of respect for police and the work that they do. And it's interesting, a lot of the things that come up in the news with use of force. And, you know, I know now when is an appropriate use of a firearm and when it's not.
Okay.
Which I think sometimes some gun owners don't know that. But anyway, but I kind of have an adventurous streak in me, and I really enjoyed learning more about that.
Okay. I was just about to say, what intrigued you enough to make you sign up for that?
I like to try. I'm a questioner, and I'm very curious, and I like to learn stuff. We've since did Citizens Government Academy. There's a Citizens Fire Academy and a Citizens FBI Academy. I haven't had time to do those recently, but at some point.
Okay, I like that. In what ways do you think you are resilient?
I think age helps you to become more resilient because you remember the things that you got through that you didn't think you were going to get through when you were younger. Having, like I said, having raised 5 teenagers, I mean, nothing really phases me anymore.
I'm one of 9, and I only raised 2 teenagers. I can only imagine what raising 5 was like.
Well, I have a good husband. He's he helps a lot. And I had good kids. I mean, they weren't really, because I know some people just get challenging kids. So I don't know what would happen if I'd gotten different
kids. But it's still 5 children, even if they're all angels. That's still a lot of children to manage.
But I think there's just so many things that I've gotten through. I know I was freaking out about something recently. It might have been the sailboat cushions. And I thought, wait a minute. And then I thought back just to some of the crazy things I've sewn and thought, I got this.
Okay.
I just take my time. It's all good. So
I think if there's a gift of aging, that resiliency really is like you said, to be able to look back and say, oh, I got through raising 5 teenagers. I can handle this cushion.
Right.
I like that. Knowing that you started your business up twice and you have a daughter who's in her own business, what traits do you think an entrepreneur needs to have?
Well, first of all, you need to have a lot of patience, not just with other people, but yourself. And you need to be flexible. I don't think we should dig our heels in about too much, except for obviously the agreed upon price.
You learned that lesson right away.
Yeah. I think you need to be a little driven, but I think it's really important is to have a good why. Why are you doing this? Because there are going to be times when you're pulling out your hair or you're behind or everything's going wrong. And if you don't remember your why, you're going to be like, why am I doing this? So most things in life that are worthwhile are trouble. It's just the way it goes. You know, if you have a good marriage, you've had to work at it. So no matter how wonderful your spouse is, you still have to work at it. And it's work.
Right.
And so if you have a nice house, you put in the work to make it look nice.
Mm-hmm.
So anything worth having is worth the trouble.
Right.
And you have to be okay with that. So, and usually if we're doing things we like, then we have enough drive, because you can't really be successful if you're a procrastinator. I mean, there's certain things you might procrastinate on. I'm not saying I'm driven on everything.
Right.
But you need to have enough drive because no one's watching you.
Isn't that the hardest part about being your own boss? You have no boss to be accountable to.
Right. I mean, but the flip side is then you can go take a day off and go do something fun with your grandkids, and then you just work Saturday or whatever, you know.
Right, right.
And then I think the other thing, well, and I'm naturally curious, but I think it's a good trait to be curious, because asking questions is how you're going to get information.
Right.
And then I would say, lastly, being uncomfortable with temporary ignorance and imperfection, because you're going to screw up. It's just count on it.
That's actually really important.
Yes. I'm a big Brene Brown fan. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, and I remember the first time I heard her, I said, good.
Yes.
That is so liberating.
Yes. Yes. Getting the permission to make the mistakes. Yeah. I love her. So you mentioned a website. Do you have a website now? Where will people be able to find you?
I do have a website. It's allthetrimmingsshop.com.
Okay. We'll put a link to that. Are you on Facebook or Instagram?
So I'm on Instagram, the same thing, All the Trimming Shop. I was on Facebook and I got hacked last Labor Day. And Facebook, between the pandemic and them just being too big, I have not gotten any resolution. So people can find All the Trimming Shop on Facebook, but you'll see that the post stopped as of September, I think 4th or 5th, 2020. Okay. And I have no control over that anymore.
Okay, you're not the first person who's mentioned that.
I've thought about doing another one and putting All the Trimming Shop 2, mm-hmm. And then just explaining, because I've been concerned that people might send me a message, but
you wouldn't get it.
Whoever hacked my account, my personal account was attached to the business page, and so I've recreated a new. Because I was on Facebook back when all my girls were in college. So I've been on there since 2009 or something, okay. 2008, like back when you had to have a college to get on. But it is what it is. So.
Okay. But I can put a link to your Instagram account on there. So that brings me to the final question. What advice would you have for people who are new in the business or people who've been in business for a while?
I would tell them, join the WCAA, go to your local chapter meetings and get to know everybody, the ladies and gents, because they're awesome and they're just like you. And they're such a kind, gracious community, generous. I mean, that's why I'm serving as the president right now. It's sure as heck not because I know more. It's because they've all done so much to help me. Mm-hmm. And that's my way of expressing my gratitude to them. Mm-hmm. I think believing in yourself, and not giving up, because I mean, I think sometimes people I think they call it imposter syndrome, where, yes. And it's like, if they can do it, you can do it. You know, if you look around, it's not, I mean, we all have gifts and anybody can learn anything if they practice long enough. So I think if this is something you really want to do, go for it. Okay. And I think comparison is the thief of joy.
Totally agree with you on that. And that's a great reminder. Theresa, I'm always so impressed when people who are in a great WCA group are so willing to step up without a long history of being part of the group. I think it's wonderful, because without somebody willing to step up, it's harder for the chapters to continue. And you don't have to know more than the other members of the group. So I'm so impressed that you stepped up for that. And I know, having served as a president, having looked to people to step up, I know how much it's appreciated, but I also know how much everyone benefits from groups like the local WCAA chapter. So congratulations to you for stepping up to it. I think that's wonderful.
I had won the scholarship, and Kathy Geffen, if it wasn't for her, she reached out to me on Instagram a few years back. So they've all, Carol Blow is my VP, and Kathy's now the secretary. Susan Palmer's our treasurer. I mean, all these amazing people, Alicia Shute, Sharon Gizzi, they're all, Jonathan Bennett. I mean,
you've got a great group.
Oh my gosh. And if I've missed any of you guys, I'm sorry, but they're all amazing people and fabricators / upholsterers. So I would be ungrateful if I didn't step up and help.
That's how I felt when I did it too. But there, you talk about imposter syndrome. I know there are a couple people who were asked about stepping up and they're like, but I haven't been here that long. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you can contribute is giving back to the group. And when you're in a great group, there's so much to be learned from the other people. So that's wonderful. Theresa, I can't thank you enough for spending time with me today. I know this is a busy time of the year, so I really appreciate and am grateful that you were willing to spend time with me today.
It's been a pleasure, and you're just as cute in person as you are when I see you on the camera.
Thank you, Theresa. I appreciate that. It was really great for me to learn more about Theresa over the past couple of months. Her name has come up once or twice, and she's also a member of the Curtains and Soft Furnishings Resource Library, so I've seen her on some of our webinars. But it was really great for me to get to know her better, and I hope it was for you too. I continue to be amazed by how different our stories unfold. There are so many similarities, but so many differences. I love that Theresa started her business back up again. I love that she's working with her daughters. I think it's so fantastic. I hope that you enjoyed hearing from Theresa today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day.